Hi everyone, I'm here finally. Long story, but I'll share that with you in a minute. I'm just going to wait, as always, for notifications to go through, particularly because I'm 15 minutes late today, but I do have a very good reason for that. And we're going to discuss a very interesting topic. So I am going to make sure as many people as possible get a chance to see the notification, log in, and share a part of this Sunday afternoon with me. Hi, Bernadette. How are you? What a wet Sunday it's been in Sydney. Nirakar, hi. Welcome to Sunday Chats. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Nim Golkar. Welcome to Sunday Chats with Nim, which is a weekly Facebook Live show I've been doing since mid-2018. For those of you who've been with me on this journey for the last 2.5 years, you know the drill. Don't forget to say hi to me because I love saying hi back to you. And if possible, let me know where you're logging in from, as in which city and in which part of the world you are logging in from, because that's something I'm always interested in knowing. Juhi Soma, how are you, Juhi? Hi. Bernadette saying, I'm wondering where you were. All right, so here's the thing, right? Because it's so dull and gloomy and because it's been raining nonstop since morning, I thought I will do my Sunday chats from home, from the comfort of my home. And then someone was watching a movie on Netflix and someone else was chatting with a friend on the phone. It was just too distracting. So I thought, you know what, I'll just hop into my car and drive to the office, which is where I shoot all my YouTube videos typically anyway. So I got here and then, of course, I had to set up the tripod, in which a few more minutes dragged past. And then, horror of horrors, there were technical issues. So I wasn't able to log in. Murphy's Law, right? It always happens. I was looking at the time and I'm thinking it's 4:05 and 4:10 and then it's 4:15. And here I am still struggling to log in. So I was sure a lot of people would be wondering what happened to Nim. But here I am, really excited to be with you all today. And I do apologize for the delay. Now, I'm hoping that most of you are like me and you don't let dismal weather affect your mood or your mindset. The reason I'm sharing this is because I know quite a lot of people who tell me that they're not able to get much done when the weather is not to their liking. Okay, so for example, when it's raining and when it's dull and when it's gloomy, they find it difficult to be motivated. They find it difficult to get much done. Now, just as well, it's Sunday today, but let's say, it's raining throughout the rest of the week. Are we going to let productivity and positivity and proactivity suffer just because the weather is not perfect? So one thing I really, really would encourage everyone to take away from today's session is that don't let weather negatively impact your mindset or your worldview, because that is going to impact your productivity. So rain or shine, try and keep as much as possible a positive mindset. Try and be in the frame of mind where you think, what's next? What else can I do today? It doesn't always have to be work. It can be fun. Just don't get into a gloomy mood because the weather is gloomy. All right. Now, we're talking about 10 monthly goals that I'm going to share with you. Today's monthly goals are for personal development, and in next week's Sunday Chat session, I'm going to share with you 10 monthly goals you can set for yourself for professional development. So don't forget to log in next week as well. All right? So I've booked you for half an hour for next week. Put that in your diary so that you don't forget it. Now, look back to New Year's Eve 2020, 31st of December 2020 or 1st of January 2021. Okay? Like me, you were probably looking upon the upcoming year with a sense of hope, and you probably felt motivated, supercharged, on top of the world, and you were thinking, I'm going to get this, and this done in the new year. I'm going to do away with all the excuses I've been giving myself for the last 20 odd years, and I'm going to make all my dreams come true. Okay, many people were super motivated on 31st of December 2020 or 1st of January 2021. It's March now and we're approaching the end of March soon. So it's a good time to look back, reflect and reassess as to where are we with regards to all those wonderful lofty goals we had set for ourselves 2-3 months ago. Okay, now being human, what has probably happened is that you've gone sliding backwards, you're off track where your goals are concerned, and you've been berating yourself, blaming yourself, calling yourself names because you're just not able to stay disciplined and focused. Now, first of all, stop blaming yourself because that's only human. We all do that. We all go off track, right? But the important thing is to recognize that you've gone off track and then do something about it. There's no point just telling everyone that, oh, I had really made some really, really interesting goals at the start of the year, but now I'm off track. I mean, yeah, you are off track. We all go off track, but let's not just stay inside our comfort zone and say, at least I tried. If it's March and you've gone off track and you've done nothing about it, you really can't tell yourself that you've tried. Okay, you've not tried enough. So you need to stop giving yourself excuses and you need to step outside your comfort zone and get some meaningful goals done. Okay, so today I'm going to share with you some monthly goals that you can set for yourself. Now, why monthly goals? I'm going to come to that in a minute, but here's what I do. Okay, each month I will select one specific goal to work on consistently for 30 days or 31 days as the case may be, right? Of course, I am working on all the other goals that I typically do as well. But for that month, I have set one specific goal. They are not very ambitious goals. They're not very lofty goals because I have realized that when your goals are larger than life, then it's very, very easy to lose motivation and momentum. Once you lose motivation and you lose momentum, it's all downhill, right? So don't set too lofty a goal for each month. I found that this particular habit, which I've been following for many, many, many years, I find that it has the power to truly transform your life, to transform your productivity, and to transform how fulfilled you feel with things at the end of the day. Okay, so that's something I've been practicing. Now, as those of you who know me, who've read all my books, who've been following me on social media, you would know that I usually, as much as possible, will give you actionable tips. So I don't like to preach for the sake of preaching. Everything I'm sharing with you are things that I have personally tried. You know that I share my failures and I share my successes. I will tell you things that I've tried that did not work, and I will tell you things that I tried and that worked like a dream. Okay, so before I forget, I hope you all have a notebook and a pen ready. I did put that up as a reminder on social media 15 minutes ago, a half an hour ago, just reminding you all to keep a notebook and a pen handy because there are some amazing goals I'm going to share with you today that you can follow for 30 days at a time. By the end of 2021, you will look back and you'll be amazed at how much you've achieved this year, how much more confident you're feeling about yourself, and how people will look at you and think, wow, what happened to you? So if you don't have a notebook and pen, please go and grab one, just any note paper, any pen. I'm just going to wait for a few seconds while you do that, okay? Now, don't try to tell yourself, I'm going to remember it all anyway, because you're not, okay? So please get a notebook and pen if you are truly serious about transforming 2021 and making it your year. So while we're waiting for all the people who are scrambling to get their notebooks and pens and pencils or whatever the case may be, let me tell you why monthly goals. First of all, why not 6 monthly goals or 1 year goals? Why 1 month goals? Why are they so powerful? Well, firstly, 1 month is a relatively short time frame. Okay, so it's not daunting. It's not scary. If you decide to do something for the next 6 months, that can put a lot of people off because we're all busy people. You know, we've got all kinds of responsibilities, duties throughout the day. So 6 months is super scary, which is why I'm personally someone who works constantly on 1 month goals. Okay, so the first benefit of a monthly goal is it's got a small time frame, which means it is manageable. The buzzword, the magic word. We all want to do things that are manageable. We want to-do lists that are manageable. We want careers that are manageable. We want responsibilities that are manageable, right? So if it's such a big deal, why not pick a time frame that is manageable? So 1 month, small time frame, manageable. It seems less daunting. And the best thing of all, it will give you quick wins. WINS. We all need quick wins on a daily basis to stay motivated, to stay supercharged. Do you know why so many people in this world are demotivated? Because they're setting lofty goals which they're not able to accomplish. And when you can't accomplish goals that you set for yourself, or goals that you thought you could accomplish but still fail to accomplish, that's when the motivation really dips low and you feel like you're not capable of doing anything. Okay, so you've got to be smarter than that. You've got to have some quick wins come your way. And the best way to do that is to set goals that are for a short time frame, that are manageable, doable, and not very daunting. All right, so we've got that. So hopefully you all have something to write on now. Before I dive in, let me quickly say some highs. Mandy, hi. Hi, Prahlad. Bernadette says, absolutely true, got my notebook and was ready. Very organized, Bernadette. I'm personally someone too who, whenever I attend any sessions or conferences or webinars, I have to have a notebook with me, okay? I always carry that in my handbag. I may forget everything else, but I don't forget my notebook and pen, because that's where I write all my ideas. Anything I learn, any aha moments, I pen it down so I don't forget it, okay? So if you're not in the habit of carrying a notebook and pen with you wherever you go, please do that. It works like magic. All right, so I've got 10 monthly goals lined up for you today. Let's start with goal number 1. Okay, now all the coffee lovers, all the tea lovers are going to say, Nim, did you have to start with this goal? But my first goal, something that you can work on for 30 days at a time, is give up caffeine for a month. I am a true coffee lover and I have done this several times. Each year I give up caffeine for a month, for an entire month, 30 days. I give up tea, I give up coffee. Okay, so because usually what it is, when you give up coffee, you think, oh, at least I'll have tea. Well, that's kind of cheating, I think, because when you're giving up caffeine for an entire month, you might as well go the whole hog, right? All right, now, if this sounds like an unbearable idea to all the caffeine lovers out there, here's another slightly more doable option for you. Instead of giving up caffeine completely for 1 month, what you can do is, let's say you have 3 cups of coffee a day. You can tell yourself for the next 30 days, I'm going to only have 1 cup of coffee a day. Or if you're having a lot of coffees on a daily basis, maybe you could bring about a little bit of change and say, you know what, for the next 30 days, I'm just going to have green tea once a day, or whatever the case may be. You've got to decide the framework within which you're going to work, okay? Now, no one loves coffee more than I do, and each year I've given up coffee for an entire month, tea and coffee. So I'm telling you, it's doable. Is it easy? Not really. The first 3 or 4 days, you're really going to crave it. But after that, you're going to feel very light and supercharged. And also that sense that I can do it. I can actually give up something that I felt I was so dependent on. Because to be completely dependent on something, you know, I hear people who say sometimes things like, I'll die if I don't have a coffee. Well, no, that's not going to happen. We just tend to dramatize things, right? So try that, okay? Nirakar says, I can't miss my tea completely, particularly your morning cup of tea. I'm sure, Nirakar, that's what you're referring to, but we'll limit it to 1. Yeah, great. Let's start small, okay? Let's say if you don't want to give up your tea completely or your coffee completely, I completely get it. But at least do something that takes you outside your comfort zone. If you're having 3 cups of tea each day, bring it down to 2 or bring it down to 1, and then stick to that routine consistently for 30 days. You can't say today I'm going to have 1 cup of tea and then tomorrow I'm going out for a coffee catch up with my girlfriends or with my colleagues. So there I'm going to have my 2nd cup of tea. If you know you're going out, like me, for instance, if I've decided to cut down on caffeine in any given month, and if I know that I'm having a catch up, and I really want to have that cup of coffee with my friends, and I'm going to skip my morning cup of coffee. Okay, so it does need a bit of discipline, but trust me, if you do it, you're going to love yourself. All right, so let me just tick this off that I've talked about, giving up caffeine for a month. Okay, goal number 2 that you can set for yourself. All the lovers of shopping. If you love going shopping, and if you find that you end up buying things that you later think, why did I waste money on that? each time you go shopping over the next month, every time you go shopping, before you pick up anything and put it in your trolley or basket, I want you to ask yourself a simple question. Do you have your pen ready, guys? Write this down. The question you're going to ask yourself is, do I need this or do I want this? The question you're going to write down, my friends, is, do I need this item or do I want it? Because there is a world of difference between what we need and what we want. Things that we need for our existence are things that we can't really do without. Things that we want are just feel-good stuff that we are completely capable of surviving without having in our everyday life. Okay, so you'll find, if you really reflect upon your shopping habits, you will find that many times you just get carried away in the moment and you end up buying stuff that looks good, feels good, or you just convince yourself that you want it and you can't do without it. But the truth is that if you had to do without it, you would do without it. You could survive without it. Okay, so ask yourself before you buy anything for the next 1 month, do I need this or do I want this? It's just a habit. It's not forever. Next month onwards, you can go back to your shopping habits, right? But it's just a matter of self-discipline. You don't know what amazing aha moments you might have and what things you might discover about yourself that you are then happy to continue through for the rest of the year. Okay, so remember, just because you're following a goal for a month does not mean you're stuck to it for the rest of your life. Nothing like that. It's just to become more self-aware and to find out what you can do without, what you absolutely have to have in your life. All right, so the second monthly goal you can set for yourself is, before going shopping, before picking up something from the shelves, ask yourself, do I need this or do I want it? Now, if you pick up a box of cereal and you have no cereal left in the house, and that is absolutely your staple breakfast or the staple breakfast for your kids, then of course that's something you need. Okay, so we'll just have to use a bit of logic here when we shop. But do you really need that 5th pair of shoes that you've bought in the last 6 months? Maybe not. That's something you want because you like the color or because it's a shade you don't have. Then maybe you need to resist. Okay, so that's for 1 month. Mandy has a question. Instead, can I have hot chocolate? You can, right? If you're someone who's having a lot of coffees and you want to give up the coffee habit, then yes, try and find a replacement. So all that you're doing is letting go of one particular habit that you may be very, very dependent on and find an alternate. Okay, too much of anything is bad, right? So again, I wouldn't encourage you to have 5 cups of hot chocolate in a day. We just have to use a sense of balance, which I'm sure we're all capable of doing. Nirakar says, habit number 2 will surely help me. Most of the times I take what I want, don't really think if it needs me. Nirakar, you and the rest of the population, we all think like that. But try it out for a month. Truly will transform how you feel about yourself. And guess what? You're going to save so many dollars when you actually resist the temptation to buy something that you want instead of waiting until there's something that you truly need. Okay? So that is goal number 2. I'm just giving you different ideas for you to set monthly goals. All right. Where is my goal number 3? This one I've been talking about forever. And I really, really want to know how all of you are doing who promised me at the start of the year that you would do this particular goal. Of course, it's related to reading. Remember, I had set up a challenge at the start of the year that if you read 1 book per month for the whole of 2021, then at the end of 2021, you will have acquired a lifetime of wisdom. You would be so wise by the end of the year. Now, a lot of people will every now and then send me a message or an email telling me, Nim, I've sort of been sliding off track and I started the year really well and I was reading 1 book per month, but in the last month I've not read at all. Can happen. But if you keep giving yourself reasons why you've gone off track and why it's so normal and natural that you are no longer pursuing a particular goal, if you keep giving yourself justifications, your brain is going to learn to accept it. Your brain is going to learn to feel sorry for yourself. Now, for all of those who've gone through my personal one-on-one coaching programs, and if any of my current or past clients are watching today's session, you will know how strict I am about not giving ourselves excuses. I take no excuses from my clients, absolutely none. I refuse to have the next session with them if they've not completed the homework tasks that I've set for themselves. That's just something I make clear at the start of my personal coaching programs. If I give you a homework task, or if I ask you to take a step outside your comfort zone, I always ask, is this doable for you? Is this doable during the coming week? If you say yes, then I'm going to expect that when I next meet you for our session, that you will have done it. And if you've not done it, then I refuse to take the next session until you've done it. Okay? So I'm a huge advocate of not giving yourselves excuses. So if you've gone off track, great, I sympathize with you. It's only human. If you continue staying off track, then there is a problem. You really need to ask yourself why you can't put in 15 minutes of reading in a 24-hour day. Is it that difficult? Is it that undoable? Okay, so the fourth, is it the fourth? 1, 2, 3. All right, we're down to 3. Third goal. So the third goal for you, my friends, is read a book for 15 minutes daily. That's all. Take your phone, set the timer for 15 minutes, and just get as much reading done as possible in those 15 minutes. When the timer goes off, close the book, go off and do whatever wonderful things you were doing before. Okay, so please recognize when you're giving yourselves excuses and nip those excuses in the bud as much as possible. Now, I'm not superhuman. I myself give myself excuses many, many times, but I do recognize that I'm giving myself an excuse, and then I have a bit of a self-talk with myself. I say, Nim, I know what you're doing. You're actually giving yourself excuses, and you're trying to wriggle your way out of doing what you know is good for you. Okay, so 8 times out of 10, I managed to talk myself back into doing what it is that I'm supposed to do. And 2 times out of 10, being only human, I indulge my excuse. So what I'm trying to tell you is giving excuses is only human. Feeling self-pity is only human. But if that becomes your default way of going through life, then in 20 years' time, you're going to look back and feel really, really sorry that you did not use your time on this planet well. You know that famous saying, you only get one life, but if you live it well, once is enough. The trick is to keep asking yourself, am I living my life well, or am I just drifting? Am I just wasting my time? Am I just giving myself excuses? All right. So that was goal number 3. Read for 15 minutes every day for 30 days. 15 minutes. It can be any time of the day. Typically, I like to create and cultivate my habits in such a way so that I do the same thing at the same time each day, because then that becomes a habit that's easier to form. So you might have to decide that every day when I wake up, for the first 15 minutes before everyone gets up, I'm going to read. Or you can decide I'm going to read during my lunch break. Or you can decide that every night before I go to bed or after dinner, I'm going to read for 15 minutes. As much as possible, stick to the same time to do the same thing every day. Okay, everyone's gone silent, so I'm assuming that you're all taking down notes so that you have no questions. But if you have questions, please ask me during the live session, because I'm not going to be able to answer any of your questions afterwards. Okay, Jyoti says, me too, I can't start the day without tea. So Jyoti, the minute you think I can't do something, that is a hint that we are probably overly dependent on something. So I'm someone who really loves to test my own sense of willpower and my own sense of self-discipline. So the minute I think I can't do without this or that, that's the hint that should become my monthly goal. Why can't I start my day without a morning cup of tea? Have I ever tried? Will it be difficult? Maybe for the first 3 or 4 days, but after that, it becomes a habit. Okay, I'm just someone who does not like to be overly dependent on habits, because what happens, let's say, if a day arrives where I've gone somewhere where I'm, for some strange reason, I can't imagine why, a morning cup of tea is not available. And then what? Are we going to collapse? Right? So the minute you think I can't do something, ask yourself if you can have a monthly goal around that particular thought of yours. Okay? Nirakar is taking down notes. Thank you, Nirakar. It's really going to come in handy for you later, because when you think, what was goal number 3 Nim was talking about, you have your notes ready. All right, so I've shared with you 3 goals. 4th goal, oh my goodness, this is super difficult, but worth a try. No complaining for 30 days at a stretch. Now, sorry, I can't stop laughing. But probably many of you are thinking, oh, but I'm not someone who complains at the best of times. It's all the people around me who complain. But trust me, we all complain. We all do. If you're stuck in the traffic, we're complaining about the traffic. We're whinging and whining about the driver who's driving really slow in front of us. We are whinging about the person who's tailgating us. We're whinging because we're such a long queue in the supermarket. We not have to complain to some other person. We might just be complaining inside our heads. Okay? So for 1 month, what I want you to practice, this is one goal. You don't have to do all the goals I'm telling you, just giving you ideas, okay? So for 30 days at a stretch, you can set a goal, no complaining month, where I will not complain about anything, right? Because when you complain, you sort of create a sense of negativity. You create negative energy. I'm someone who's a huge believer in how energy gets transferred from one person to another, right? If we are constantly negative, the universe gets those vibes, and I'm someone who believes in universe sensing things that we put out into the world around us. So if we put out negativity, we attract negativity. Negative things happen, right? Have you ever noticed that when things go wrong, they spiral out of control? You wake up in the morning, something goes wrong, and then everything goes wrong throughout the day. Now, the reason that happens often is because as soon as the first negative thing happens, you complain, you whinge, you whine, and then you think, you know what, nothing is going to go right for me today. God is not on my side today. Good luck is not on my side today. You attract more negativity, more things go wrong. And then at the end of the day, you say, see, I'm always proved right. Because it was such a bad start to the day, I knew the whole day would be dismal. So what I suggest is if one thing goes wrong at the start of the day, it does not mean compulsory that the whole day has to be doom and gloom. You attract a lot of the doom and gloom by expecting it subconsciously. Okay, so the next goal that I'm sharing with you is no complaining for a month. Now, before you start thinking I'm someone who does not complain, start tuning into your thoughts. Start tuning into how many times the narrative inside your head is one that is a complaint. You're complaining that you have not achieved as much as you wanted in life, that by a certain age you thought you would be doing more. You're complaining because nobody understands you. You're complaining because bad things happen only to you and good fortune happens to everyone else. We're constantly whinging inside our heads, even if outside we're not. Okay, so the best thing to do for 1 month, this is a difficult one, like Bernadette says. Fourth one is a big one. It's a big one. It's a difficult one, but it's not an impossible one. I'm not sharing with you anything today that is impossible. And remember, it's only for 30 days, guys. 30 days out of an entire lifetime. All right, so goal number 4 for a month, no complaining. Instead, what you can do is whenever negative experiences happen, negative things happen, things go wrong, I want you to do one particular practice. Look for hidden opportunities inside negative experiences. When things go wrong, something bad happens, something negative happens, I want you to really dive deep and look for something positive, a positive twist on a negative experience. Okay, so that was goal number 4. Hold on. I'm just checking. Miraka says habit number 3 should most of the time. Oh, okay, I had read that. All right. If anyone has any questions, now is the time. Like I said, I will not be able to answer any questions afterwards. If you've forgotten to say hi to me, I really want to know why you haven't said hi to me yet. So please let me know that you are sharing a part of your Sunday with me by just saying hi, name, and tell me where you're logging in from, which city, which part of the world. All right. Goal number 5 sounds easier than it actually is, because if it was that easy, a lot of people would be doing it. For many, many, many years, I was not able to do that goal, even for a week at a time, but it's something I've been practicing now consistently for a long time, and that is to drink more water. Simple goal, but very, very, very important. Okay, if you're someone who just sticks to drinking coffee or juice or not drinking much water on a daily basis, you really must make a commitment that for the next 30 days, whichever month, let's say you decide that September is the month you're going to practice this particular goal, or March is the month you're going to practice this particular goal, you decide that for the next 30 days, I really am going to increase my intake of water on a daily basis, and you watch it like a hawk. You watch how much you're taking in, what time of the day, and you make sure that you take in the required amount of water. What I've done is gone and bought one of those bottles, drink bottles from the supermarket, which has the time on it. Like by 9 a.m., this is how much you should have drunk. By 12 p.m., this is how much you should have drunk. By 3 p.m., this is how much you should have drunk, and then you top it up. Okay, so that sort of helps if you're someone like me who needs physical reminders to have water. So if you're not someone who is having water, set an entire month for yourself where you decide, you know what, every day I'm going to monitor my water intake. Because the beauty of setting monthly goals is that your subconscious gets used to certain good habits. And at the end of the month, you can decide, is this something I want to keep for life? Is this something I want to keep doing on a regular basis? Right? Bernadette says, funny this one, I've started every morning a warm glass of water. We'll do this as a monthly goal. Good habit. First thing in the morning, I personally like to drink a warm glass. I drink a couple of glasses of warm water every morning. Not something I like. I really want that cup of coffee first thing in the morning, because all coffee lovers must know that when you wake up and you smell coffee, you really don't want anything else. Certainly nothing as boring as water, right? But it's all a matter of self-discipline. So having a glass of warm water or two first thing in the morning is a quick win, right? And when you have a quick win, you really feel like, I'm so good, I'm so disciplined, I can do whatever life throws at me today. Very important to have a quick win. All right, so the fifth goal I've shared with you is drink more water. We're halfway through. I've got 5 more amazing goals to share with all of you. All right, goal number 6. Difficult as well for a lot of people, but I've done it and I know it's doable. That is no social media for 30 days, a complete social media detox. Now, before you think, oh my God, I will die without Facebook or TikTok or Instagram, trust me, you won't. Okay? You've just talked yourself into believing that if I don't scroll through my Facebook feed every morning, that I can't get anything else achieved. Remember the trick. The minute you think I can't live without something, that is a hint that you're possibly too dependent on that particular thing. Okay, being too dependent on something which is not necessarily good for your emotional, physical, mental well-being, you must ask yourself if occasionally you can have a detox. Just get away from something that you feel you're addicted to. So the 6th goal you can set for yourself somewhere in 2021, doesn't have to be the first goal you set, is no social media for 30 days. Now, if you're a business owner and you must use social media, like someone like myself, for your promotions, new product launches, etc., etc. What you could then do is tweak that goal a little bit. So you could say, I will go to social media or visit social media just to do things that promote my business, that take me forward where my business is concerned. But I'm going to cut down on the time I spend just watching useless videos that really don't add any value to my life. Okay, so like I said, every goal that I'm sharing with you is not set in stone. It is just something that you can either do in its entirety or you can tweak it. Like I said at the start, you don't have to give up caffeine for a month. You can decide, if I drink 3 cups, I'll cut it down to 1. Similarly, if you must use social media for your business purposes, then of course I don't want you to give up social media for an entire month and lose on potential sales and lose on customers or whatever. Then you've got to bring in some self-discipline and tell yourself that typically I need to be on social media for an hour each day just to make sure my business is running smoothly. All the rest of the time I'm spending on social media is just a waste of my time. Anyway, I'm just watching people's holiday pictures and seeing what everyone else is up to. You don't need to do that. Just for a month, okay? So you just need to detox. Nirakar says, is WhatsApp considered as social media? That's a tricky one because for a lot of people, particularly who have families overseas, WhatsApp is perhaps a very, very important platform for daily communication. So if that is something that keeps you in touch with family members, it keeps you in touch with whatever is happening in your daily life that you must absolutely tune into, then I would suggest don't completely banish that from your life, but perhaps you can set times of the day. Like I'll check my WhatsApp at certain times during the day, okay, rather than every 10 minutes checking to see if someone has messaged or something like that. That's another option, Niraka, that you could try, okay? So I would not necessarily consider WhatsApp as social media unless you're using WhatsApp just to share good morning messages, or just to share videos, or just to share fun stuff. But if it is something where it's important, where you're getting important information about family members, updates and stuff like that, continue with that. But then you might want to say, instead of checking it every 30 minutes or every 15 minutes or every time it pings, you could tell yourself, I'm going to check my WhatsApp after I finish this project that I'm working on. Like when back in the day when I was writing, every time I write a book, right, and I'm tempted to get on social media, I will always tell myself, I will check social media only after I've written 500 words at a stretch. My daily goal is always 2,000 words. But because I love social media and I love all of you and I have to be on Facebook, I set mini goals for myself. Okay, so hopefully that... Poonam says, how will we see your lives without social media? Oh dear, very sweet. So Poonam, what I suggest is, because you know exactly when I go live, typically every week, Sunday at 4 p.m. Sydney time, then you could possibly tell yourself that I log in, and it's not just me. If there is some other person that you listen to on social media regularly and you really don't want to miss out, then maybe you can just log in for that time that you know that they will be going live. Listen to it. Absorb whatever it is that they're saying, and then you switch it off. So every goal I'm sharing with you, like I said, can be tweaked to suit your requirements, to suit your daily challenges, needs, etc., etc. Okay. All right. So no social media for 30 days. That's a social media detox. That's an option for some of you. Then we come to goal number 7. Now, this is one of my favorite ones. It's something that I have been doing for many, many years. I don't do it necessarily every single day. There was a point in my life where I was doing it every day. But every now and then, whenever I get the time, even today, I do it. Okay? That is a gratitude journal. So for those of you who don't know what a gratitude journal is, this is something that even the ancient Greek philosophers used to practice. And if it worked for them, hey, why not for us, right? It is truly a habit that can transform your life. It is a habit that can keep you focused on looking for the positives, so that you have a sense of fulfillment about where you are, how you are tracking on this journey of life. A gratitude journal is any book in which you write on a daily basis things that you are grateful for. Okay, so if you're someone like me, you would like a pretty notebook. I love pretty notebooks. Is there anyone else who's watching who loves pretty notebooks? If the prettier the notebook, the happier I am to write in it. Okay, I don't know why, but I don't mind spending an extra $1 or $2 when I buy a pretty notebook, which means if I have the goal of buying only what I want and not I need in a given month, I probably will have to say no to those pretty notebooks, because we don't really need them, do we, to write a gratitude journal, right? But for the large part, I love pretty notebooks. All right, so you get a notebook, any notebook, but it has to be a notebook that's solely devoted and dedicated to being a gratitude journal. So you can't get a notebook in which your kid has done some math sums, or you've written your to-do tasks and then turn half of it into a gratitude journal. Please don't do that. Invest into a book that's completely from start to finish a gratitude journal. Okay, so what you do is at the end of the day, it's always a good habit to do this at the end of the day, but you could do it in the morning as well. It's a bit harder to do it in the morning because you haven't seen what the day has thrown your way yet. So at the end of the day, what you do is you open it, you write the date, and you say 5 things I'm grateful for today. Doesn't have to be anything earth-shatteringly big. It does not have to be anything larger than life. It could just be that today I got a hug from my child. It could just be that, hey, today I opened my handbag and found a $5 note I didn't know I had. It could be I opened my cupboard and discovered a top that still had the price tag on it that I had completely forgotten about. It could be something as simple as I was able to have an entire cup of tea in peace without being disturbed or distracted. So anything small. It could be that I woke up with the sun today and I saw the sunrise. anything and everything that gives you a sense of gratitude, joy, happiness must go into your gratitude journal at night. You know, the one good thing about having this habit is all day long, you will know at the back of your mind that you've got to find 5 entries for your gratitude journal later in the evening, which means that you are specifically on the lookout for things that will be positive. So you're looking out for the good stuff. You're looking at like, wonder what I can write tonight in my gratitude journal. So you're constantly looking. So even if, let's say, you have a negative experience, you ask yourself, well, what can I find that's good about it so that I can put it in my gratitude journal at night? So you're like a detective who's on the lookout only for the good stuff, because you don't want to have writer's block at night when you're trying to write in your gratitude journal. You want those things to come pat. What are the things that you're grateful for today? So it's a great way to have a positive mindset throughout the day, because that way you're going to be looking out for stuff you can write about. Okay, so 5 things I'm grateful for today. You need to write this every day for a month. It's not rocket science. It's not going to take a lot of your time. Typically, it will probably take only 2 or 3 minutes, particularly if you've lived consciously throughout the day, where you are aware of what's happening to you, where you're asking yourself, well, what's good about this? Yes, I had an argument, but was there a good outcome? Was there something that I learned that I can put into my gratitude journal? All right, so it's a great habit to have. So that was our habit number 7, goal number 7, okay? Goal number 8, okay, this is actually easy to do. And it's quite surprising how rarely so many of us practice it on a daily basis. So your 8th monthly goal is pay someone a compliment every single day. 1 compliment per day. It could be to a family member. It could be to a colleague. It could be to someone who is, at the checkout in the supermarket. Right? This is something I personally do a lot. Every time I see someone who's smiling and cheerful at the supermarket checkout, I think, well, this is rare in today's day and age, where most people behind checkout counters tend to be pretty grumpy. So when I notice anyone in a supermarket or in a retail outlet, in a shop, who gives, exceptional customer service, I always stop. No matter how busy I am, no matter where I'm rushing off to, I always make it to take a pause for a few seconds and tell them, hey, thank you so much. It was so lovely to see a smiling face, because so many people are grumpy. And oh my goodness, I've lost count of the number of people who told me, thank you, you've made my day. You're the first person who's stopped to say something nice to me. Okay, so just paying someone a compliment rather than expecting others to pay us a compliment. Just when you pay someone a compliment, it's so uplifting. You feel so good that you added a ray of sunshine to someone's life. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe they've been having a crappy day and your just half a dozen kind words have given them a reason to continue, have given them a reason to not give up hope, have given them a reason to feel fulfilled, as though someone cares. Okay, so give someone a compliment every single day. I'm not asking you to give half a dozen compliments to half a dozen people. 1 compliment per day. That could be to your child, it could be to your spouse, it could be to your in-laws, it could be to your friend. Sometimes I'll just send a random text to my friends and all over the world, and I might just say, hey, thank you for being you. Thank you for your friendship over the years. You're such an amazing friend. How much does it take to type out a simple message on your text messages or in your messenger or whatever? Just pay someone a compliment each day for 30 days. That was goal number 8. Goal number 9, some practice that I've learned from ancient Greek philosophers, and that is every day for 30 days, reflect on the last 24 hours. Okay, so this is not the same as gratitude journal. Gratitude journal is where you ask yourself, what are 5 things I'm grateful for today? Reflecting on the last 24 hours is a habit where you look back and find things that you can rinse and repeat throughout your life. So at the end of the day, you look back and you ask yourself, what are some things, what are the key highlights of the last 24 hours and what did I learn from them? What are some things I can avoid in future? What are some things I can repeat? Because many times we only focus on our mistakes. We only think about what you did wrong and how you can fix it in future. But I'm someone who also thinks about things that went right. Okay, because if something went right, if I managed to have have a discussion with my husband without actually arguing about it, that means something went right, and I need to find out what it is that I did right or he did right, because of which that particular conversation, which might have been a tricky conversation, was without conflict. Okay, so when you reflect on the last 24 hours, don't just look at things that went wrong. Don't just look at missed opportunities or, where you made mistakes. Those are important. You must reflect on that and ask yourself, well, what can I do next time? What can I do different next time to avoid this negative outcome that I had today? But in addition to that, I also want you to think about things that went right, that you did well. Because many times if you reflect on what you did well, then you can just rinse and repeat that same behavior or mindset in future to increase your chances of having positive outcomes. See how you save time? I'm someone who does not want to reinvent the wheel. I just want to do what works. And the way to do that is to actually reflect on what worked so that you can do the same again. All right, so the 9th goal is reflect on your last 24 hours. Ask yourself some simple questions. What went wrong? What went right? What can I rinse and repeat next time? Rinse and repeat, the magic mantra I've been using all my life, because I don't like to make more efforts than I absolutely have to. So if I can rinse and repeat something, a bit like that, the cloth in the kitchen, which we rinse and repeat to clean the kitchen bench top. Similar, I like to rinse and repeat lessons in life so that I don't have to have an uphill struggle where I'm constantly making the same mistakes. I mean, what a poor use of time if you're going to continue to make the same mistakes again and again and again. We've got to learn from our mistakes, but we also got to learn from our successes. All right, so that was goal number 9. And it comes to our final goal for today. Oh my God. A half an hour session is almost 1 hour. It's almost 5 o'clock. I can't believe it. I've been having so much fun. I hope you've been too. All right. So the last goal for today, improve your willpower. Many of us run away from improving our willpower. Okay, our sense of self-discipline. So what I want you to do when you pick this goal for the month is every single day for 30 days, do at least one thing, the right thing to do rather than the easy thing to do. For 30 days at a stretch, you will do at least one right thing, something that has to be done because it's right, rather than picking the easy or the convenient option. You'll be surprised at how many times in the day we give ourselves excuses and do what is easy. We do what is convenient rather than doing what is the right thing to do. Okay, for instance, that you spend the entire weekend eating unhealthy stuff. Okay, so let's say Monday you go out for lunch with your colleagues and someone orders a plate of French fries and there's sour cream with it and tomato ketchup with it, and it's calling out your name, eat me, eat me, eat me. The easy or the convenient thing to do is, of course, dig in and have half the plate. But you've got to tell yourself, hey, I've had a big weekend. I've really had some unhealthy stuff. The right thing to do today is to resist the temptation to have those fries. Okay, so doing what is right is always going to be more difficult than doing what is convenient. But willpower, as they say, if you've done any research on willpower, and I've done a lot of research, I know that willpower is a finite resource. It's limited. Okay, if you use too much willpower throughout the day, you will collapse at the end of the day and then just do all the things that are wrong or all the things that are convenient because you've exhausted your supply of willpower. So what I want you to do is use it in small doses, manageable doses. Okay, so you don't have to do all day, every day, things that are right, because sometimes we really want to let down our hair and do the fun stuff. We want to do things that feel good, right? Even though you know that, oh, well, you need to be more disciplined. But what I'm saying is for 1 month, when you set yourself this goal, you tell yourself every day, I'll do at least one thing, which I know is the right thing to do, rather than choosing the alternative, which is easy or which is convenient. Okay, my goodness, how much have I spoken today? Poonam says, can we recap all 10 things? Well, if you still want to all listen to my voice, go on for some more minutes. Why not? All right, Poonam, I will do that. So let's do a quick recap of all the 10 goals that I've shared today. If you've not written it down in your notebook, and I'm hoping you're all noting it down somewhere, please do that, okay? So goal number one, I've written them in random order, so just finding the numbers is going to be a bit of a challenge. Goal number one, monthly goal number one, give up caffeine for a month. Goal number two, before you go shopping and picking up any item, ask yourself, do I need this or do I want this? Goal number three, read a book for at least 15 minutes daily. Goal number four, no complaining for an entire month. Look for hidden opportunities inside negative experiences. Goal number five, make sure you drink more water on a daily basis. Goal number six, a social media detox for 30 days. Goal number seven, write 5 things you're grateful for every single day inside a gratitude journal. Goal number 8, pay at least one person a genuine, honest, heartfelt compliment every single day for 30 days. Goal number 9, reflect on the last 24 hours every single day to find out what habits, mindsets, and behaviors you can rinse and repeat to attract positive outcomes into your life. And goal number 10, increase your willpower every single day. Do at least one thing that is right rather than what is easy or convenient. So that's it from me for today. I hope you're feeling supercharged, super motivated, even though the weather out here in Sydney is pretty dismal. But like I said at the start of today's session, become one of those people who does not let bad weather or dismal weather negatively impact your mindset, right? Because if we are overly dependent on weather and if we only are able to do our best work when the sun shines, then we really are going to waste many productive hours, right? All right. What is Niraka says, thanks Nim, made notes of all the goals. Do we need to do one at a time for a month or all goals for a month? Oh, okay. Thank you for asking that question, Niraka. Let me clarify that. It is one goal per month. Okay, we are in March already, which is why I've given you 10 goals, for the rest of the year. Now, please don't wait for 1st of April to start your monthly goal. You can start as soon as I finish this session. So just count 30 days from the day you start. Unfortunately, that's a mistake a lot of people do. They wait till Monday morning to do something. They wait till the start of the month to do something. Please don't do that, okay? If you're onto something good, why not start straight away? So as soon as I finish this, you can decide, okay, for the next 30 goals out of the 10 goals Nim has shared, I'm going to start working on the first goal. So it's one goal per month. All right, thank you, lovely people. Thank you for sparing your Sunday afternoon for me. I'm always so humbled and honored that you care to spend some of Sunday, which is such an important day for so many of us because, we want to unwind, but you all still turn up and I'm really appreciative of that. All right, have a great week ahead. Good luck with all your monthly goals. I'm sure you're going to transform 2021 for yourself. Can't wait to hear your success stories. Take care. Bye.